Hi everyone, how are you? Look at the flowers behind me. It's so beautiful. It's not even spring yet, but still there are a lot of trees with full of flowers, and I'm just waiting for the spring season when the whole avenues become beautifully filled with trees which are flowering. So, how are you all? I hope everybody is fine. So, this week I have a very interesting topic to talk about. Let me find a place to sit and then talk. Stay tuned. Okay, so I got a place to sit down and talk to all of you. Right. So the topic for today is very interesting because this is something which we discussed in the Prayana community, the women community which I run, and there we have discussions on various topics every now and then. And this topic actually initiated, or rather, this discussion came because I shared a couple of photographs of products which I found on the shelves of American supermarkets here. So normally every week I go for grocery shopping and I buy my things, and I find that it's not just the shopping that is simpler and easier, but also the cooking that I do over here. Okay, so if you look at most of my food habits, that has extremely changed when I came from India to US. The reason is because there is a lot of availability of different varieties of food, and all this food is comparatively easier to cook and make. Okay, now of course I do cook Indian food, but there is always a difference in the way we cook Indian food in our kitchens in India, but how we do things over here. Now let me tell you one simple example. We get a lot of cut vegetables over here in supermarkets, which means let's say the major vegetables which are cut into pieces like broccoli, carrot, and zucchini, and similar vegetables which are available in packets, and that too in various mixed forms. Now all you have to do is to put this packet into into the bowl and put some whatever masala you want to add, and then make your dish. Now apart from that, there are a lot of sauces which are available, and all of these sauces makes things very easy. All you have to do is to put these vegetables or chicken or fish or whatever you are buying, and then put these sauces into it, and then come out of it. I mean, it just takes around 15 minutes, or on, let's say, in if I'm in a great mood to cook, I spend normally around 30 minutes, or let's say worst case scenario 1 hour, and that too when I'm cooking only Indian dishes, it takes more than that time. Otherwise it's much more easier. And my total time spent in kitchen after coming here is less than 1 hour per day for sure. Okay, and that includes cooking and eating as well. It is not just cooking. Okay, now this statistics why I shared with you is because in India, in our country, and especially in South India, I think we are so used to cooking so elaborately with 10 different curries and 10 different items. And at the end of the day, are you eating nutritious food? Is Indians having good healthy lifestyle? Or why is India having the highest rate of diabetes and other things? I don't know. Heart disease, diabetes, we are capital for that in the world, right? Why? Now what can we do to reduce this timing? Okay, now this is a very important topic. Why? Because this also means that women of course are the sole responsible person for kitchen even now in our country. So obviously women are the worst victims of this scenario, wherein they end up spending a lot of time in the kitchen. In fact, there is a study which was conducted, a survey among various countries in 15, and they found that Indians spend the highest amount or highest hours in kitchen. Okay, and Indians, I mean, it is Indian women, obviously, right? And do you know how much that time is? It is 13 hours. 13 hours. Can you believe? It's like in 24 hours, a woman in India is currently spending 13 hours in the kitchen. That is the average time. There could be even people who are spending even more, and some are spending even lesser. Now, Why is that like that? Now, one probably I would say is because of our food habits, where we want all kinds of big very complicated dishes. For example, in order to make one idli, we all end up we have to plan how to make the idli batter. The day before itself you have to put the urad dal and the rice into into water, and then you have to put it in the mixie or grinder and spend 1 hour for grinding it, and then keeping it overnight for fermentation, and then next day morning you are making an idli, which means to make one set of idli, the time average spent is like at least 2 hours. Okay. Now forget idli. Does idli come alone? No. Along with idli, we have the sambar, we have the chutney, we have all kinds of other things. So for all that, you will have to probably end up spending more and more time. And at the end of the day, how much time do we spend to eat? And that's the funniest part of it. We just gulp it in 5 minutes, and then we just get out of the we means most of the men probably of the household, they just get out of the place, dining table, and what is the remaining works? Imagine the kind of work that a woman has to do in order to complete the process of eating and cleaning, right? So what can we do to change the scenario? I think the change has to come firstly in the food habits. As I said, start cooking and eating more healthy food, which are which does not take too much of time in cooking and making, number one. Then number two is, of course, people who think that I cannot change my food habits, I want dosha with chutney and other things. Obviously you will have to have, or rather have methods by which you get these ready-made batter. For example, in that way we are quite happy nowadays. In every part of the country we have idli ready-made batter, we have chapati ready-made, which you just have to cook it and then eat. But look at the vegetable side of it. Okay, if you want to, even if you buy a packet of chapati and reheat it, it's fine, but what about the curry that accompanies with it? You will have to cook a curry for which the first ingredient is probably cutting a vegetable, and again, cutting, how much time it is going. Okay, it must take probably at least, even if you want to cook, cooking time maybe 15 minutes, but the cutting and cleaning and preparation time will be another 45 minutes. So now imagine if we get all the cut vegetables as well as pre-set or prepared kits which are available to women, not women, anybody who wants to cook for that matter, and if it is available, it can save a lot of time. Okay, now many people are apprehensive about the ready-made or food, processed food, which is also an alternative, but I think many people are still apprehensive because they think that they add some ingredients to it and it is unhealthy. Okay, I agree. If you have that apprehension, at least if you get cut vegetables and probably the sauces or the masalas that probably can be added as a kit, it will save a lot of time, and I think that is a great business idea for India, especially South India, because South Indians are the ones, I think, who spend even more time probably than North India, and also the metros. The metro cities probably have these kinds of options, but when it comes to the the rural as well as the second tier cities, even now the only option is to go for the basic raw style of cooking and the basic way of doing things. Now this is not, this I would say, this is also because we do not have enough and more food processing industries with us, and this because we don't have these kinds of food processing industry and food processing manufacturing units, there is a lot of wastage of food items and vegetables and other things. Every year tons of vegetables and fruits get spoiled because it was not processed on time. And why we are not able to do that? I would say it is because people like you and me, youngsters, they are not interested in taking up the risk of setting up and running an enterprise for food processing. Okay, there are many cases where small units are running, where they make achar and pickles and stuff, but what about solid food processing units? Okay, and imagine if you have a service where you deliver cut vegetables on a daily basis. Imagine like sambar kit or maybe the kurma kit or whatever. So all different kinds of kits, if you are able to process and cut and deliver, and imagine no need of even washing or cleaning it. Just put the vegetables into the pan and then start cooking and eating. So this kind of a service, or rather I would say this kind of a food processing unit is something which will help a lot of people, women especially, because women are the ultimate victims of all this, these systems and setups that we have in our country. Now, at the same time, it is the same women who can actually give a solution to this problem. As I said, imagine if a group of women can come together and set up these kinds of a food processing unit. And imagine if they can supply to the city, and the only requirement probably you need for this kind of a business is small scale, small unit machineries for cutting and cleaning. Secondly, you will require some labor, people to organize and pack and stuff. And of course, you also need a logistics to ensure that your products are reaching on the frozen shelf, or on the chiller shelves of supermarkets where this can be sold. Or alternatively, if you have a logistics where these products and kits can be delivered to houses on time early in the morning before the woman goes into the kitchen, if you can deliver the cut vegetables, you can, that helps a lot of, save a lot of time. Think about this, and I really believe that ideas actually come out of the challenges that we face, and unless women start thinking creative solutions for the problems that they face, the problems will continue existing. And I said the statistics of 2015 where women spending 13 hours in the kitchen, that's really, really pathetic, and we need to change that statistics. And I imagine, probably my imagination is a little more crazy. I wish I could eliminate kitchen totally from every house, and probably only community kitchens. But or maybe who cook for money and you buy your food and eat. That is my concept. But if you want to cook for yourself, the total time you spend in the kitchen should be less than 2 hours at any cost in a day, and you should be able to plan your cooking and cutting and preparation. If you can reduce your time there's nothing like it, because every time saved on unproductive work, okay, I don't know whether to call this as unproductive. Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of time for me, and for me, I consider it as unproductive. Sorry. So every hour saved there will help you to become more creative and do better things which you are liking to do, which you are really passionate about. And I'm sure every woman out there hates, probably they will like cooking, but the cleaning and afterworks. So in fact, I always think about having robots for cleaning. That could be another area some of you could work on. That is the startup idea which is still pending. In fact, over here in Silicon Valley, there is a startup who is currently working on a kitchen cleaning robot. I am actually going to meet them in a couple of months and understand how their startup is going to, how their robot is going to be useful. So anyway, I'll come when I meet them. I'll share more information about that. But for now, what I want to tell you, all of you, is a big announcement. Okay, so listen carefully. This is an offer to the women, especially only for women. Yeah, because in Prayana we provide opportunities to women only. So the men don't feel bad. If you have, probably if there is a woman, and maybe if your husband or your brother or somebody would like to join the venture, well and good, no problem. But the woman should be the leader. That's all the concept. So if there is a woman who is ready to take up this kind of a project for food processing, where you create cut vegetables, or rather you produce the cut vegetables and deliver to people or deliver to supermarkets, I can be your first investor. I don't know what is the market feasibility. You'll have to study that, and you'll have to come back with a business plan, a clear business plan. And also my suggestion would be to actually start off in a small manner and see how it works. And as I said, scaling this up would be a great idea. So I would be the first investor if one of you can come out with this kind of an idea, and let's see how you can evolve and grow into probably $1 billion business. But beyond business, why I want this idea to materialize is that this will help save a lot of time for women and help them come out of the kitchen and do something better that they can do. Okay, so I wish you all the very best. If you have such an idea, please connect to me or please email to me. My email ID is connectcv@gmail.com, or you can also join Prayana and take the step forward. Okay, so bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and take care. Do subscribe.